Hey, what's up guys? This is PokerXpress, and we are back with another episode of Poker Hands. Before getting into it, I would like to ask you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy our videos. Let's jump straight into the action.
We're going to go to a flop, 200k out there, flops the absolute nuts, and Paul, he has a piece of this, he's a pair and a good shot. You can see the field size. This is a great graphic top left. It shows you exactly how many players remain. 45 remain. Now, Lillis 1.6 million. Average is about 1.3 million. Lillis in the small blind here with ace queen versus a button raise. You kind of would expect a 3-bet from a button open with ace queen. But Lillis decides against a stack that hasn't covered, just a flat call in the big blind. Mark McDonald gets out of the way. We're going to go to a flop, 200k out there. Well, Frank Lillis flops the absolute nuts. And Paul, he has a piece of this. He's a pair and a good shot to a bad straight. Queen would give him a bad straight, and Lillis, of course, just check calling here with the absolute nuts. Frank Lillis puts in the 75,000, and what a great situation. Paul Coyle, 2.5 million, that 3 is a blank. Coyle could fire at this again, try and get Lillis off weak 10s. Jack X, but Coyle shuts down, checks back. King on the river. Coyle just trying to, well, he'd be happy with showdown here. He's going to check back, but Frank Lillis will go for value, I expect. $350 in the pot. Lillis going big here, it looks like. Looks like 275. These white chips are the big ones. Oh, not sure about this. Snapped call from Paul Coyle. That's very sizable pot. It brings Frank Lillis up to the 2 million mark. It's a big hit for Paul Coyle from North Mayo.
Actually plays really well, because if he does happen to wake up with the aces or the kings or the queens, it's actually one of the best hands you can have.
Yeah, it's cracking.
And while it's usually better to have blocker hands like an ace X or a king X because you're blocking the calling range, actually I think maybe throwing in 1 or 2 hands like that is probably okay when you can flip the ICM pressure back on. Look at this hand.
Jacks against Stacey. 10s, and Blaine has got the 10s. Stacey's got the jacks. There's been a few things that haven't gone Stacey's way. And it's not that he hasn't played well, it's just that the poker gods have been like, yeah, I'm going to do this to you today.
Yeah, he was very unlucky in that hand against me. Obviously, I could have been putting the bin a bit earlier with the ace-jack, king-jack, blind v blind. Now, that was all pretty standard. Daniel's a very good player, I've got to say. Oh, wow.
It's all going in.
Well, you said it hasn't been his day.
For Blaine, and this is very harsh, because what does Dermot do here?
Dermot's got so much of this, he might flat. And I suppose if a spade came, that would be the way Dan could get saved here. I can't see Dermot raising because you just got too much of it.
Yeah, and you want to try and extract as much as possible, so you're hoping for red as a king.
So Daniel may put the brakes on. Obviously, any ace, king, queen, or spade could potentially have slowed him down. He might go for a check call, or knowing Daniel, actually, more likely he'll go for a small sizing here, something like 25, 30k is sort of his default. He's probably targeting 10x here.
In the cutoff, because you guys have obviously played together quite a lot now, particularly today, he can put him on pocket 9s, pocket 8s.
Yeah, absolutely, and most of all, probably targeting a hand like a 10x, like maybe an ace 10, queen 10 for value. He's obviously blocking jack 10 quite a lot, and he's blocking 2 of the possible jack 10 suiteds.
Well, he bet 35, and Blaine has just ice cool called. 8 of spades comes out.
Daniel's a really good player. I can see him check folding this. Pretty much nothing has missed. Like, Dermot's not going to value bet a 10 at this situation. So when he bets, he is sort of representing better than a 10. Daniel's only got just better than a 10 himself. I think he will probably find a fold.
Stacey's checked.
You've seen a lot of Daniel Stacey over the years.
Yeah.
Tower, he plays the UKPTs.
He does.
Plays that kind of stuff.
Yeah, final table, one of the final MPMPTs as well in Prague.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. Nubla Donk online is his handle. I've played a lot of poker with him online, mostly over the years. But I can remember playing against him 8-9 years ago on some UK IPT type of stuff, all those tour.
Yeah.
How has that adapted, as in players adapting from online to live in the last 2 years after Rona?
Great fold. Yeah, I think
Terrific fold.
I think it's. I think it comes naturally to guys like Daniel. He's just got really good composure. I think most of the really good online guys who came through that sort of generation 10 years ago.
If you enjoy our videos and would like to see more, make sure to check out the links in the description. Also, make sure to comment below what you would like to see next, and we will work on your ideas as soon as possible.
Rory Brown, Calvin Anderson and I commentating, and we're just looking at the screen going, huh? See something gets down on one knee, or like, what's going on? It's like, oh my god! It's like 4 weddings and a funeral over here. What the hell's going on?
And look at Ian's stack. He's like,
Yeah, Ian's got a big
super deep stack. He's come to the table with like 100 bigs. Three bets here with the King 9. I don't think it's worked. Now, Keith, of course, this guy is quality.
Well, he's got the goods and he's quality.
Yeah, he's never going to 4-bet. He's just going to flat here with the Ace-Queen suited.
Yeah.
He does have position.
Which could work in Ian's favor. But you're right, he's in position. So he's got position with the lesser hand, with the better hand.
Action sitting.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to see some trouble.
Nuts.
Top pair and the absolute
Nutty
stone cold
nut.
nuts
Keith.
for my cousin Brennan.
Nice check. Pot control from Ian.
Yeah.
And Keith with a couple of options here. Could
I
check back.
I check back.
Think he could. Could start trying to build this pot up.
I check back.
There's a chance that he could be up against aces. I mean, that's not what wouldn't be out of the question. Ace King. So there's a lot of hands that would call him here.
Also, does the ace high flush, does the nut flush bet 17k on that flop? Probably not. In Ian's mind.
that's a really good point. I mean, Ian will not be putting him on the nut flush, that's for sure. Now a 9 would be sick.
Ooh.
Wow, that's pretty sick. Now, in
Ian
one way it kills the action because it's an
the
additional
fourth club. Yeah.
But it actually improves Ian's hand from top pair to 2 pair.
Yeah.
So I think a bet certainly gets called. Now Keith does have position, so he might check this back. He might check this back and go for value then on the later street, the river. But he's
3-2. City have pulled one back. Scheisse. Okay, so again, Ian Simpson
going to get called. It's going to get called.
He's going nowhere. He does have he's got 4 outs. The only ones that are left in this is what I love about our graphics team is they know exactly what's left. So it's the King of Hearts and Diamonds and the 9 of Hearts and Diamonds are the ones that are left. The spades are obviously in Simpson's hand, and the 2 clubs we can see are out there already. But had they been mucked, we'd know that. It's still the absolute nuts for Keith, but there are 4 outs for Ian. Now, if you're in Ian's position, do you raise here to try and find out where you are?
Oh, he's never raising. He just can't raise.
Call?
Can't raise. I mean, then he might miss. But if he raises here, and then Keith comes over the top, Ian has to fold, so he's going to deny himself equity and not get to see a river. So it's a call. It's a straightforward call, and he makes the call. And now Ian's just going to check and hope to get to showdown, and hope he's chopping with playing the board. It's an interesting one, another club. It really is. So, depending on the sizing from Keith, of course, I mean, is just loving life. He is the blocker to the straight flush. So this is absolute dream scenario. Big pot. Look at the size of the pot. He could go the full
38k
amount, but it's been checked to him. So,
but Ian is too good to
70k about.
Yeah, Ian's too good to call this now, unless he just thinks to himself, "Oh, you've got red in your hand." It's a 60k call with 225 back.
What Ian is thinking, he raised pre, but he just checked flop, and he thinks, well, if Keith was at it and he continued then on the turn, like Ian has just been check calling, so it's not out of the question for Keith to have a 3-barrel bluff in his hand here. Some hand like ace queen with no clubs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's also the point that he hasn't played as much with Keith.
Another interesting hand that Ian might convince himself that Keith has is like Queen Jack. You know what I mean? Straight that got there on the turn. That's a great fold.
Yeah, it's a great fold. It really
yeah,
is.
pretty good fold. He's taking a hit.
I can understand how people will look at that and go, well, come on, there's 5 clubs out there. Obviously he's going to fold and there's no club in his hand.